Google Plus was where everyone was socializing with each other, and this is where things were very cool back then when Google was its good life before it went on its uh, downfall. The final logo before the 2019 shutdown has been shown on the Wikipedia page as I'm going over the history as what happened to this beloved social networking service. Google Plus, sometimes written as Google Plus with an actual word plus, stylized as G Plus, was a social network that was owned and operated by Google until it was ceased to exist in 2019. The network was launched on June 28, 2011, in an attempt to challenge other social networks, linking other Google products like Google Drive, Blogger, and YouTube. The service, Google's fourth foray into social networking, experienced strong growth in its initial years, although usage status varied depending on how the service was defined. Three Google executives oversaw the service, when, which went which underwent substantial changes that led to a redesign in November 2015. Um, Following Google Buzz, introduced in 2010, which later been retired in 2011, then Google Friend Connect, introduced in 2008, then retired by March 2012, which is around my 10th birthday, and Alcrit, introduced in 2004, or as of 2013, operated entirely by subsidiary Google Brazil, retired in 2014. Google Plus launched. Features included the ability to post photos and status updates to the stream or internet-based communities, group different types of relationships rather than simply friends into circles, a multi-person instant messaging, text, and video chat called Hangouts, which has been covered, events, location tagging, and the ability to edit and upload photos to private cloud-based albums. According to a 2016 book by a former Facebook employee, some leaders at Facebook saw Google's foray into social networking as a serious threat to the company. Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg instituted a company-wide lockdown, signaling that employees were supposed to dedicate time to bringing Facebook's feature into the line with Google+. The assessments of Google Plus growth varied widely because Google first defined the service as a social network, then later known as a social layer across of all Google services, allowing them to share a user's identity and interests. According to Ars Technique, I'm sorry if I pronounced the name all wrong. Google Plus signups were often just an incidental byproduct of signing up for other Google services. In 2011, Google Plus had 10 million users weeks after the launch, then 25 million in October that year, and 40 million, according to Larry Page. By the end of 2011, Google Plus had 90 million users. In 2013, approximately 540 million monthly active users used the social layer by interacting with Google Plus's enhanced properties such as Gmail and +1 button and YouTube comments. Some 3 million monthly active users participated in the social network by interacting with the Google Plus social networking stream. According to ComScore, the biggest mark was the United States, followed by India. Google Plus's user engagement was lower than its competitors. ComScore estimated that the average amount of time spent by users on the site during the month of January 2012 to be only 3.3 minutes. Over on Facebook, this metric was over 136 times greater at 7.5 hours. In March of 2013, average time spent on the site had increased, but remained low at about 7 minutes, according to Newsline, not including traffic from maps. In 2014, the New York Times likened Google Plus to be a ghost town, citing Google's state of 540 million monthly active users, and nothing that is almost half did not visit the site. Nobody did visit the site at all over there. The company replied that the significance of Google Plus was less as a Facebook competitor than as a means of gathering and connecting user information of Google's various services. In April of 2014, Bit Gonora, the executive in charge of Google Plus, departed the company, with management responsibility taken over by David Besbris by March of 2015. Google executive Bradley Howitz, who had co-founded Google Plus with Gonora, had replaced Besbris to become the vice president of streams, photos, and sharing. An interview with Steve Levy published on May 28, 2015. Howard said that Google Plus was about to go under a huge shift that would better reflect how the service is actually used. By the time two core Google Plus functions, communications and photos, had become standalone services. Google Photos and Video Library was announced at the May 2015 Google I/O conference. Google Hangouts, Google's communications platform, was announced 2 years earlier. Also at the Google I/O conference, Google subsequently refocused Google Plus on sharing interests, removing features not supporting an internet-based social experience. The company also eliminated the Google Plus social layer. Users no longer needed a Google Plus profile to share content and communicate with contacts. The transition began with YouTube, where a Google Plus profile was no longer required to create, upload, or comment on a channel, but a Google Plus page was instead required. YouTube comments no longer appear on Google Plus or vice versa. In November 18th, 2015, Google Plus underwent a major facelift and a rebrand and a redesign with the stated intent of making the site simpler and faster, making the new features of communities and collections more prominent, and removing features such as Hangouts integration, events, and custom URLs, though events and custom URLs were eventually been added back. On October 8th, 2018, Google announced that it would end the consumer version of Google Plus by the end of August 2019. Later changing that date to April 2nd, 2019, after April Fool's Day. The company cited low user engagement and difficulties in creating and maintaining a successful Google Plus that meets consumers' expectations, noting that 90% of user sessions on the service lasted less than 5 seconds. It also acknowledged a design flaw in the API that could expose private user data. Google said it found no evidence that any developer was aware of this bug or abusing the API, or that any profile data was misused. According to the Wall Street Journal, the data exposure was discovered in spring 2018 and was not reported by the company because of fears of increasingly regularly scrutiny. The newspaper also said that the move effectively puts the final nail in the coffin of a product that was launched in 2011 to challenge Facebook and is widely seen as one of Google's biggest failures. So at the time being, this will be the nail in the coffin for Google+. On December 10th, 2018, Google reported that a subsequent Google Plus API update exposed customer data for 6 days before being discovered again, saying there was no evidence of any breach. The bug allowed outside developers access to personal information of users. Over 52.5 million users were affected. The company moved the service shutdown date to April 2019 and said it would sunset all Google Plus APIs in the next 90 days. So, at this point, on its business-oriented G Suite, Google replaced Google Plus with a similar product called Google Currents, which facilitates internal communications. A few months after Google Plus's closure in July 2019, the company soft launched an experimental social networking platform called Shoelace, oriented toward organizing local activities and events. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Shoelace shut down on May 12, 2020. And the company announced on June 5th, 2020, that Currents is replacing Google Plus for all G Suite customers beginning on July 6th of that year. Then, 2 years later, on February 10th, 2022, that Google announced that it will be winding down. They were planning to wind down Currents and transitioned its users to Google Chat in 2023. By this point, at this moment, Google Plus became one of Google's biggest failures of social networking, and Google has saw that the writing was on the wall. Google Plus was discontinued in 2019, on April 2nd, 5 years ago, and as of 2023, Google Plus users has been transitioned into Google Currents. As of 2024. Wow, poor Google Plus at this point. For Google Currents, it succeeded Spaces and Google Chat. Google Currents was released in June of 2011, on the 28th of June of 2011. Although, even though Google Plus is gone, though I do remember that prior to its shutdown, according to Ray Cynical, formerly known as King Ray 157. I don't know. I think I was right at this point. According to Ray Cynical / King Ray 157, that Google Plus is where he started his GoAnimate fan base. But ever since then, before it shut down, and since then, and the site was packed with GoAnimate drama, which later been passed on as a big trend, which lasted for a while. Oh, as soon from that until now in 2024. With Google Plus gone, on it may be gone, the memories will still live on by the people who remembered using it. Rest in peace, Google Plus. You will be missed. Sorry about how Google has shut you down. So Google Plus failed because it just really wasn't very successful from the get go. So and honestly, this is one of the reasons why Facebook went on a lockdown, a company wide lockdown, signaling that employees were supposed to dedicate time to bringing Facebook's features into line with Google Plus. So at this point, think Facebook won. It's just very heartbroken to see Google Plus and really Google Hangouts be gone as a whole. But it's just business. I'm not even gonna lie. So that's another Google social network in the lurch and in the dust. So right. Bet everyone's very disappointed. Well, thank you guys for watching. See y'all.